Hello everyone. So I am Eto Rubin Ramirez and we will be tackling forest soils for the upcoming forester licensure exam. So first, what is soil? Dito muna tayo sa definition of term. So what is soil? It is the upper biochemically weathered portion of the Earth's crust supporting life. So we will um, isa-isahin natin yung definition ng soil. So pag sinabi nating soil, it is the upper biochemically weathered portion. So ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng weathered portion? Ito yung soil ay nagpo-form in the process of weathering and it takes thousands of years para makapagbuo ng 1 centimeter of soil. So parang ang nangyayari dito is yung rocks, nagwe-weather siya para mag-form ng ating soil. And then, pag sinabi naman natin na supporting life, kasi ang soil natin is, it supports life since it acts as a foundation for plant growth and nagfi-filter din ito ng water and habitat for other soil organisms or for different organisms. So, bakit natin ini-specify ang forest soils? Pag sinabi natin na forest soils, it is the soil formed and developed under forest vegetation. Kasi i-emphasize natin to kasi meron siyang difference when it comes to other soils na hindi under ng forest. I mean, hindi siya sa forest na na-develop. Kasi ang forest soils natin, meron siyang organic layer dahil dun sa presence ng trees, which is merong mga forest litter, tapos syempre meron din influence yung mga roots ng trees sa ating soil. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag sa forest soils na organic horizon. Okay. So, next is, paano nga ba nag-form ang ating soil? So, pag sinabi natin na soil formation, meron tayong, sabi ko nga kanina, it is the upper biochemically weathered portion of the Earth's crust. So, pag sinabi nating weathering, it is the chemical and or physical breakdown of rock materials. So, meron tayong dalawang type ng weathering. It is the physical weathering and the chemical weathering. Pag sinabi natin na physical weathering, it takes place when a rock splitted or broken down into smaller pieces of the same material without changing its composition. So pag sinabi nating physical weathering, weathering siya na hindi nagbabago yung physical composition ng rock. So it's either na-break lang siya or nahati lang siya. Pero pag nahati siya, yun pa rin yung same composition niya, hindi siya nag-iba. Unlike dito sa chemical weathering, which is reactions such as hydrolysis, oxidation, takes place when rocks minerals are changed into different substances. So pag sinabi natin physical weathering, hindi nag-iiba yung composition ng rock. Nahahati lang siya, tapos or nabro-broken down into smaller pieces. Pero kapag sinabi natin chemical weathering, yung minerals ng rocks ay na-change into different substances. So pag sinabi nating physical weathering, meron tayong iba't ibang examples for this. It is the frost action, wetting or drying, action of plants or animals, and exfoliation. So pag sinabi natin na frost action, 'di ba? Pag nakikita natin sa ice natin, 'di ba? Pag gumagawa tayo ng ice, tapos ang nangyayari is pag nire-ref natin siya, tapos kapag tinatanggal na natin yung ice sa ref, kapag gagamitin na natin, di ba nag-e-expand siya? Nag-e-expand siya. So, ganun din yung nangyayari dito sa frost action. So, ang nangyayari, yung tubig, papasok siya dun sa ating rocks. Tapos, dahil yung tubig na yon, for example, na-subject siya into sobrang lamig na lugar. So, nag-freeze siya. So, yung tubig na yon na nasa loob ng mga cracks doon sa rocks, tapos nag-expand siya, yung expansion na yon ng tubig, yun yung magdadrive para mag-break yung ating rock. So, yun yung nangyayari kapag frost action. So, yung mga cracks na visible sa ating mga rocks ay papasukan niya ng tubig. Tapos, kapag nagkaroon ng freezing doon sa rocks natin, mag-expand yung tubig na yun and it would widen the crack. So pag paulit-ulit yun na nag-freeze, pumasok yung tubig, ganyan, nag-expand ng mag-expand, saka magbe-break yung ating rock. So yun yung frost action. So pag sinabi naman natin na wetting or drying, pag ang nangyayari dito ay madalas siya na nakikita sa mga rocks na malapit sa ating mga rivers kasi ang nangyayari dito yung repeated wetted and drying. So, wetting and drying, tawag dito, mababasa yung rocks, tapos matutuyo ulit kapag high tide, low tide, tapos matutuyo, mababasa. So yung paulit-ulit na na wetting or drying ng rocks, it will eventually lead to breakdown. So yun yung isang example ng wetting or drying. And another is action of plants or animals. So, ang nangyari naman dito kapag nag-scavenge yung ating mga animals, so yan, parang nagkakaroon yung action na yun, yung pag-scavenge na yun, yun yung nagda-drive para mag-breakdown yung mga rocks. Tapos kapag sinabi naman na kapag nangyayari naman kapag plants, so for example, yung roots ng ating trees, nag-ano siya, parang nag-adopt siya doon sa isang rock natin, yung cracks doon sa rocks natin. So, yun yung nagda-drive para mag-break yung ating rocks. And then, lastly is yung exfoliation. Next is the chemical weathering. Nasabi ko naman na kanina na yung naiiba yung composition kasi meron tayong reactions such as hydrolysis and oxidation. So itong hydrolysis process and oxidation process, so iniiba niya yung composition ng ating rock minerals. So, okay. So, meron tayong iba't ibang soil forming processes. So, dito, meron tayong addition, translocation, transformation, and loss. Pag sinabi nating addition, it is the input of materials to the soil system. Kapag addition, nag-add tayo ng input sa soil system natin. So, for example, mga falling leaves, dust from air, manure, yan. Yun yung pag-a-add, diba? Nag-a-add ka ng something ng materials doon sa soil natin. Manure, alam naman natin na yung manure ng, for example, sa mga cows, ganyan, syempre, rich yun kasi di ba puro damo lang yung kinakain nila. So, rich in nitrogen yun. So, nag input ka ng nitrogen doon sa soil. So, another is volcanic ash or flood sediments. So, pag sinabi naman natin na transformation, transformation is the chemical and biological alteration of soil components. So, tina-transform niya yung soil components. So, ang nangyayari dito is yung, for example, decomposition of organic matter kasi di ba from leaves, tapos nag-decompose siya, mag-iiba yung chemical components ng ating soil. Kaya nagta-transform siya kumbaga. Tapos, next is translocation. So, pag sinabi nating translocation, huwag kayong malilito kasi kapag transformation, ina-alter yung soil component. Iniiba yung, tawag dito yung biological properties or chemical properties ng soil. Pag sinabi natin na translocation, location lang yung ginagamit natin dito. So, yung movement ng soil constituents such as organic matter, clays, soluble salts within the soil profile vertically or laterally. So pag transformation, nag-iiba or nag-alter yung soil components. Pero kapag translocation, nag-iiba lang siya ng lugar or nag-move lang yung ating mga soil constituents such as organic matter, clays, and soluble salt. So example dito is yung clay minerals or nutrients being washed from the upper layer, which is the A horizon, and then pupunta siya sa B horizon. So, nag-move lang siya. And then lastly is loss. So, it is the export or leaching of materials from the soil profile due to erosion or water movement. So, dito naman, materials are removed from the soil completely. Kanina, yung addition, may input tayo. Tapos kapag dito naman sa loss ay yung materials ay nare-remove siya from the soil dahil nga dun sa erosion or water movement. Okay, so next we will tackle the difference between the soil profile or soil horizon. So dito naman, ito yung madalas na na-encounter natin sa ating dito sa ating board exam kasi itong soil profile or soil horizon parang kumbaga synonymous kasi siya sa isa't isa kaya i-differentiate natin siya ngayon. So pag sinabi natin na soil profile, so it refers to the vertical cross section of the soil extending from the surface down to the unweathered parent material or bedrock, while the soil horizon refers to the particular layer in the profile characterized as the layers in parallel to the soil surface. So pag sinabi natin na soil profile, dito tinitingnan yung vertical cross-section, kumbaga yung from head to toe ng ating soil. So yun yung soil profile. Pag sinabi natin na soil horizon, tinitingnan dito yung bawat layer, kumbaga yung parallel sa soil. So bawat layer dito yung tinitingnan sa soil horizon. So for example, dito, itong buong to, pag titingnan natin siya, this is the soil profile, which is the vertical cross-section ng ating soil. And then kapag sinabi natin na soil horizon, itong mga iba't ibang layers na to, yun yung tinitingnan natin sa soil horizon. So dito sa ating forest soil, kasi dahil meron siyang organic layer, this is an example of a forest soil. So una, ang topmost part ng ating forest soil is the organic layer, which is the organic layer. So dito yung mga forest litter, ganyan kasi yung organic, kumbaga, tapos dito yung mga ano natin, organic components ng ating soil. Forest litter, yung mga organisms, ganyan. So next is the uh, topsoil or the A horizon. So dito naman is the topmost mineral horizon. Kasi kanina organic horizon yun, di ba? So magsisimula ang mineral horizon natin sa A horizon, which is the most biologically active layer of the soil. It is the zone of maximum organic matter accumulation. Dito yung pinaka-biologically active. So, ibig sabihin, sa A horizon natin makikita yung karamihan sa ating mga soil organisms kasi biologically active layer of the soil. Next is the E horizon, which is the zone of maximum elevation. So, pag sabi natin E, elevation layer, yun yung parang pinaka-clue nyo dito, yung zone of maximum elevation. So, pag sinabi natin na elevation, ito yung movement of materials out of the horizon. So, E, elevation out of the horizon. So, pag sinabi naman natin na B horizon, it is the zone of maximum elevation. So, letter I, kasi kanina, di ba, elevation, yun yung movement ng materials out of the soil, elevation. So, kapag sinabi natin na P, which is the subsoil, it is the zone of maximum elevation. So, dito naman ay movement of materials into the horizon. So, pag elevation ay into the horizon. Kapag elevation, which is E, out of the horizon. So, ulit, O layer natin is the organic layer. So, it is special. Special siya kumbaga sa ating mga forest soils dahil sa presence ng forest litter and other organisms. Kapag sinabi natin na A horizon or the topsoil, it is the most biologically active layer of the soil kasi dito makahanap yung ating mga soil organisms. Next is the elevation layer or the E horizon. So it is the zone of maximum elevation, movement of materials out of the soil. Tapos kapag letter B or B horizon, dito yung zone of maximum elevation, which is yung movement of materials into the horizon. And then next is the C horizon, which is referred to as the weathered parent material or the partly weathered rock. And then lastly is the R horizon, which is the unweathered parent rock. So, kumbaga, parang nakikita nyo, di ba, dun sa picture, parang ito yung unweathered, so puro mga rocks pa lang to. Pero dito sa sea horizon, parang partly weathered na siya. So, hanggang sa yung rocks natin magiging ito na yung A horizon, yung kumbaga wala na kayong makikita ng remnants ng rocks kasi fully weathered na siya dito sa A horizon. So yun yung difference ng soil profile and soil horizon. Kapag soil profile, vertical cross-section. Kapag sinabing soil horizon, the yung layers parallel to the soil. Okay. So that's it for our 10-minute presentation regarding forest soils. So, magbibigay lang ako ng 3 questions para doon sa mga natakal natin nung umpisa. So, this is a type of weathering of soil through mechanical breakdown. So, A, physical weathering, B, chemical weathering, C, soil erosion, or D, the correct answer is letter A, which is physical weathering. So, next is it is a process of soil formation wherein there is a movement of soil particles from another layer in the soil profile, whether vertically or laterally. So A, transformation, B, addition, C, translocation, and then D, illuviation. So the correct answer is translocation. So that's it for our 10-minute presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I can meet you again on the next lessons or next topics that we would discuss in preparation for the forester's licensure examination.